Python Essentials 1 Module 4 quiz. A function definition starts with the keyword def. Def is a keyword that used to define a function in Python. A function definition must be placed before the first invocation. That looks correct to me. Cannot be placed among other code. It can be. May be placed anywhere inside the code after the first invocation. No. So the first option here is correct. A function parameter is a kind of variable accessible only after the function definition's completion, anywhere in the code, or only inside the function. It is only available inside the function. So when a value is passed to a function from the outside, this value is the argument. When this value is taken inside the function, it is taken by a parameter. So parameter only exists inside the function. A way of passing arguments in which the order of the arguments determines the initial parameter's values is referred to as, this is positional, right? So position of the argument determines which parameter will take this value inside the function. Which of the following statements are true? The return keyword may cause the function to return a value. That is correct. The return keyword may be used by itself, and it just terminates the function, or it can be used with a value or expression next to it, and then this value will be evaluated and returned back. The return keyword forces the function to restart its execution. This is not right. And it forces the function execution to terminate. This one is correct. The none keyword designates a none value, right? So an empty value, nothing, basically, in Python. A variable defined outside a function may not be accessed in any way inside the function. This is not correct. May be read but not written. Somewhere, something more is needed to do so. This is the correct option because a function can access the variables outside of its context, but only to read these values in a simple way, right? It can also write and change these values outside, but then keyword global has to be used inside the function to make full access from the function context into the global context for this variable. If a list is passed into a function as an argument, deleting any of its elements inside the function using the del instruction, okay, what will happen? Because lists are addressed by reference, when we pass a list to a function, we actually are only passing the pointer to a list in the memory. So when we delete anything in this list, it will affect the argument on the outside because it's just a pointer, right? It still points to the same place in the memory where the data is stored. When we manipulate this, it will also affect the list in the outside. What is the output of the following snippet? Okay, we have a function definition and two parameters in and out. We multiply them and we print. Okay, I see what's going on here. 6 is actually not the correct answer because there is one trick here. In cannot be used as a variable name because in is a reserved keyword. You cannot name a variable in. So this snippet is actually erroneous and it will throw on an error. What is the output of the following snippet? we have a tuple built up out of two other tuples, one element each, 1, 1. So this will be 1, 1 tuple. And then it is reassigned by adding two of its copies together. So it will be 1.1.1.1, and this will be the whole tuple. And then we print the length of this, and that should be 4. So 4 should be the correct answer. Okay, what is the output of the following program if the user enters kangaroo as the first prompt and 0 as the second prompt? Okay, let's see here. First prompt, input, enter the first value, so this will be the kangaroo. A equals length of first prompt, length of this string. So this string is 8 characters, so A should be 8. And second prompt, enter this second value, and we input 0, but we need to remember that 0 is a string, 1 character long. So length of second prompt will be 1 multiplied by 2 makes B equal 2. And then if we take A, which is 8, divided by B, which is 2, we get 4, but because it's a float division, it will be actually 4.0 as the value. I do not see any reason for errors to be thrown here, so there are no exceptions, so the answer should be 4.0. What is the expected behavior of the following program if the user enters 0? Okay, let's see. Enter a value. Value is 0 here as input, and of course it's a string. And then what we do, we take 10 and divide it by value. But we cannot divide by a string, and Python will not make an automatic conversion from string to any other numeric data type for us to make this division. I think that should produce an error. So definitely not this option, and it's either value error or type error. It cannot be 0 division because there's no division, and that should be, I think, the type error because the variable here is of the wrong type. It has to be a number, and it is actually a string. So that option should be the correct one. Okay, let's see.